I don't know. Can anybody see me? I have no idea. Let's see. Let's see. Now live on your channel. Okay, there's some chance. Yes. Yes, here we go. We've got something. We've got a heartbeat. Yes! Cinnabon Bunny, there you are. Yes, Cinnabon. You were the first to make it over. Okay. How are we going to get this word to the other people that this is where they need to get to? Yeah, bear with me. I have to do some things here. Let's see if any of this works. I'm hearing something. No, God damn it. What the hell is happening here? Why did everything come to total suck? Okay, well, at least I've got it up, although I have no idea how that all went wrong. Sorry, guys. You'll get an email or whatever, or if you go to the channel, you should see it streaming now. Mama Pray says she still can't get here. Yeah. So, Cinnabon Bunny was first in this chat. Not Ryan Johnson says hello, and Qapla. Azine says, fancy seeing you here. Thank you, Azine. Cinnabon Bunny lols. 47 Yorktown says, hello, Mr. Bird. Hello, 47 Yorktown. Captain MKG says, open hailing frequencies. Indeed. Open hailing frequencies, of course. John Street says, bird of prey, about time. Aberjam says, McClunky. Mrs. Sci-Fi Nation claims first. Certainly the first wife to come in, or Mrs. to come in. Live with Matthew, well, yes. Well. Live with Matthew says, Qapla, bird of prey and all, because you did make it in before Mamo Prey, technically. Not Ryan Johnson says, at least I got it up, but I don't know how. Yeah. Mike Richards says, yay, greetings from Columbus, Ohio. I got the new notification. My phone went bloop. Very, very cool, Mike Richards. And Aberjam was first to hit the like. Thank you, Aberjam. Yes, I'll hit like too. Why not? Why not? Uncle Remus says, you owe me 3 hours for waiting for you, Bird of Prey. Hey, Uncle Remus. I posted in the first, I don't know, hour or so when I realized that it had come up that it was not going to be on till after 4 p.m. And now we're here closer to 5. But I tried to get in. He said, or a song. Well, maybe we can work something out. And Joseph says, so here we are. Finally. Yes, I don't know what happened. I kind of know, but I didn't think it would happen like this. So, when I go to my YouTube page, ever since they switched to YouTube Studio, and they separated the live events, the live streams, because live event means something else. A live stream from the uploaded videos, and this has been going on for months. There's always been a copy of the last live stream I did in the live box. Like under live streams, upcoming streams, there was an exact copy of the previous stream. So I would always just go to it either earlier in the day or directly before and change the thumbnail and change the title and, change the keywords and everything. Update the date, and just, we'd go live and there'd be no problem. Well, today, I decided, when I went to it today, it looked like there might have been a problem with it loading chat. And I thought I remembered I fixed it last time by deleting it and then recreating it. However, I think I recreated it in... somebody got Kissing Dax. Thomas Potts with the super chat. Thank you, Thomas Potts. Anyway, I'm pretty sure then I recreated it and it was fine. But I think I had to recreate it through the classic interface. Whatever, I'll figure this out. I didn't know this was an issue. But Thomas Potts with a $1.99 super chat says, not feeling well. Just stopped by. Need to rest work. I'm so sorry, Thomas. Thank you so much. Even though you're not feeling well, you still came and gave a $1.99 super chat. You got some Kissing Dax. Thank you. Thank you so much. And Joseph Patrick with a €2 super chat says, for the best community on YouTube. Qapla, flock, indeed. Thank you so much, Joseph. Okay, those are my apologies. Let me get through some comments and, where are the comments? Oh, here are the comments. Let me get through some comments and then we'll get to some Dear Bops, because I know that's what everybody wants. Also, I saw Rambo, finally. Rambo Last Blood. Good movie. I'm not going to spoil it just in case anybody hasn't seen it, but it's coming out on Blu-ray very, very soon. It's basically at least half the movie. It's actually, I don't want to spoil it, but it's a sadder movie than I thought it would be. But it's also kind of a fun movie in that I would say it's like half the movie is like Home Alone, but with, lethal results. Like if Kevin McAllister was Rambo. Like Rambo's like, oh shit, the guys are coming to rob this place. I'm gonna set up booby traps, but instead of, touching his hand to a hot doorknob, it's, a crossbow shoots through the window right through the guy's neck or something. Good stuff. Good stuff. And again, we get Kissing Dax, 47 Yorktown, with a $3 Canadian super chat, and is concerned about my red shirt. Yes, well, it's okay. It just means I'm in command here. It doesn't mean you have to worry about, me being killed by a space monster or turning into pure salt or something. I hope. Some red shirts make it. But thank you, 47 Yorktown. Sci-Fi Nation says, greetings, Birdo Prey, Mamo Prey, Sassio Prey, and fellow nerds, indeed. Uncle Remus is still waiting for you to sing the theme to the never-ending story. You're going to be waiting a while, Uncle Remus. Josh Reed says, Bird, what are you doing for December 10th, since it's the anniversary of Bedlifre? I thought Bedlifre started November 24th. Bedlifre, the rant against the hospital bed, I consider the first Bedlifre. Maybe December 10th is the first time I used the name Bedlifre. But yeah, November 24th was my rant against the hospital bed that I considered the birth of the channel. I had a few sporadic videos before it where I did a couple of reviews of movies and stuff. But it wasn't until I started live streaming that I would say I really, became more serious about it. So I would use November 24th as the channel's birth date. Now, December 10th... No, I thought it was Frank Sinatra's birthday. No, Frank Sinatra's birthday is December 13th? When is Frank Sinatra's birthday? I feel so bad that I forgot it. It's the 13th or the 14th? 12th. It's December 12th. Speaking of birthdays, and you guys are here, Mamo Prey is outside. Okay, Mamo Prey's birthday is December 16th. Please, guys, what I want you guys to do, if you want to help, I'm going to put the link in, but you're going to go to birdofprey5.com/mom.html, and I'm putting the link in. Now, don't ever talk about this on the stream or on Anti-Trekker stream, because Mom O'Prey could be listening. But this is a link with the address that Mom O'Prey can receive birthday cards at. So please, if you're interested, and some people said they do it, buy a physical paper birthday card and just make it out to Mom O'Prey and send it to her with your happy birthday wishes and whatever, greetings, and just send it to the address on that webpage. And this way, over the next few weeks, leading up to her birthday on December 16th, hopefully Mom O'Prey will receive, a handful of cards from you guys, and I'm sure it will, she'll be so happy and thrilled to see something, get something actual paper. Just make it all the more real to her. Now I can't talk about it much because I can only talk about when she's outside. So it doesn't happen often during the streams. So this is a good time. We're not going to talk about it anymore. If I see anybody bring it up in a comment, I'm not going to read it. And I prefer you not bring it up in the comments because she could read it. So that is the address, yes, that's it. That is enough of that. Okay. So where are we now? Yeah, so December 12th is Frank Sinatra's birthday. We will do something. What day of the week is December 12th? Alexa, what day of the week is December 12th? 10 days from now.
December 12th, 2019 will be a
Thursday. So we can do something. We'll do a Thursday, a Sinatra Thursday. Put it on the calendar. Mark it down. Aberjam says, Bird of Prey. That's a long, complicated excuse for I spent too long staring at my 7 of 9 poster. I don't have a 7 of 9 poster, never did. Actor says, Qapla, Joseph, Bird of Prey, Dear Mom O'Prey, and last but not least, Sassy. Thank you, Actor. Mom O'Prey is waving and she's going to read a book. And Joseph Petrick says 16 watching and 16 likes. And Rock Solid says, Ask Bop. Yes, no, Dear Bop is coming up in a little bit, Rock Solid. Don't worry. And Rock Solid says, remember people, smash that like button, share via socials, set chat to live, turn on mic and camera before going live, donate if you can, join the subscribe star, don't abuse emojis, and down with a word I can't see. It got blocked. It got pixelated. But yeah, I'm sure he meant down with Turtistan. So, yeah. Actor says nobody should need to apologize for being enticed by us in front of a 7 of 9 poster. And Uncle Remus says Rambo Last Blood was not so good. Last 15 minutes okay, but the rest of the movie was very bare bones. I enjoyed it, Uncle Remus. I mean, I'll grant you, I don't think it's the best. I think the first Rocky is still better. I don't want to get too into it because people who didn't see in the movies will probably see it in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, listen, there was one surprise. There was only one surprise in it for me, to be honest. And everything else, it went down almost exactly as I expected it would because it's a Rambo movie. So, I mean, there's only so many ways that's going to happen. I was pleasantly surprised. But wait, listen, a Rambo movie is bad guys getting their asses kicked by Rambo. And it doesn't disappoint in that respect. Aberjam says, turn around, tell me what you see in her face, the mirror of your dreams. What? That's a song? I'm sorry. I don't think I'm singing it right. I've never heard of it. Uncle Remus says, come on, birds. We need you to sing the never-ending story. I don't even know what the hell the never-ending story is besides a children's book. I didn't know that there was a song called The Never-Ending Story, and I don't even have any idea what the song is like or called, but I've assumed from many of you how you've used it. That's a particularly long song. And Aberjam says he just got a Dax on again. Yes. That is a caution, a worry, not a worry, but that is something you need to consider anytime you're on a Bird of Prey 5 stream. Actress says, too much kissing Dax for my little nephew around. It's a little awkward. Just explain to him, Hector, that sometimes they're aliens and sometimes they like other aliens, and it's all perfectly natural. I know it's weird seeing two different. Oh wait, they were both true. You know what? Never mind. It's perfectly natural. Uncle Remus says, you make me sad, Bop. I'm sorry, Uncle Remus. Aberjam says, actor, just tell him it's a stick insect crawled up your pants. Wow. Rock Solid says, birth of the channel. I'm typically pro-life, but that could make me reconsider. Trek 95 says, hey, Bird of Prey 5. Hey, Trek 95. Is Vile Mike here? Because the title of this stream is Vile Mike Needs to Listen to His Wife. So, Vile, if you ever show up, you need to listen to your wife. I'm told you'll get it. Josh reads, is the anniversary 10th is your first live stream named Bedlifre. Okay. So the 10th is technically the first Bedlifre. And Marlena says, hello, everybody. Welcome, Marlena. Josh Street says, hey to Marlena. And I will give Mamo Prey your hellos. She's not reading the chat right now, but she's saying hello to everybody from afar. Aberjam says, greetings, Trek 95. Thanks for subbing. Oh, very cool. Mountains of Elysium says, greetings, Bird of Prey, Mamo Prey, and fellow nerds. Greetings. Rock Solid says, when is the wedding anniversary date for Frank and Freddy? Well, there is none because it never happened. By the way, Bird of Prey, you were referenced often in my live stream last night. Wish you would have been there. Rock Solid, I fell asleep during Anti-Trekker's stream. Even his stream I couldn't finish. I was asleep by the end of it. I had to rewatch the end of it this morning. And then I had to rewatch the beginning of it because I forgot that I was like 15 minutes late to it. And I realized that the first 5 minutes he just spent with the microphone off. So this is like what, the fourth out of fifth stream that he's forgotten to turn on the microphone at the start. I think we can honestly call it an anti-trekker thing now. It's not pulling a bird, it's pulling an anti-trekker. Mountains of Elysium, and Rock Solid, thank you. I will try to listen to your stream later today, perhaps after this or something, when I get a chance. And I do wish I could have been there, but I get sleep. I fall asleep earlier than I want. Mountains of Elysium says, greetings to Sassy, chaser of cats, eater of cookies, stalker of cardinals, defiler of cushions, and scourge of the squirrels. She's laying down with Mamo Prey. Sci-Fi Nation says, Bird of Prey, need to do Frank and Freddy's Super Birthday Extravaganza stream on December 12th. And 47 Yorktown says, bah. Mountains of Elysium just got the notification. Well, better late than never, not terribly late. Sci-Fi Nation's Rock Solid Productions, that was a good stream last night. I'm jealous. Rock Solid says it was just silly fun, Sci-Fi Nation. So glad everyone had a good time. Aberjam says Rock Solid, as Frank said to Freddy. Sci-Fi Nation, Bird of Prey, never saw the never-ending story. Bird is clearly not a nerd. I'm sorry. Never saw the never-ending story. That is true. Actor says, I also never played Dungeons and Dragons. Actor says he is a Star Trek geek. That's probably, yeah, that's more true. I thought that was clear by now. Yosef says, sent you a pic on Discord. My car is watching me watching you. Wow. Oh, your cat. Your cat. Your cat is watching me, watching you. Okay, I was going to say, I was kind of impressed. I was impressed by what car was watching me, watching you, watching me. Do I have Discord open? I do not. I do not. We'll check it out a little later, Yosef. Rock says, who doesn't fall asleep in anti-trigger streams, bro, to pray? I mean, seriously. It not was because of his content. It was because I was so tired last night. But you know, to be completely upfront with you guys, I am a little sick. I started an antibiotic today. In fact, I have to take another pill in about 50 minutes. So maybe even before that. I hope I have the stamina I usually do to get, 2.5 hours in. We'll see how it goes. I may not tonight. I may fall asleep talking, which I've done. I mean, I have legitimately slept talk through a Bedlifre once or twice. I was talking and I woke up and I had no idea what I had said for the last 20 minutes. And well, some of you might have been here for that. Oh, yeah, it's been quite a year. I wish I had the time to go, because Mama Prey suggested it, and I was thinking about it too, to go back through all my Bedlifre streams and like cut out the best parts for like a year-end video. And I'd love to do it, but I don't have the time. And the time I do have, I need to put into doing new videos, like the video I recently released early this morning, which I hope everybody's checked out. It's doing pretty good in the analytics. I mean, for one of my videos, not 100,000 views like some people, but I had like 100+ views already, which for me is a good video, a good start. And it's probably one of my shortest videos. It's like 8.5 minutes, 7 minutes without the ending credits. And it was just how apparently California there are some Californians that are trying to get past a law to make the governor tell the governor to declare a state of emergency on homelessness so that different towns and cities can arrest the homeless, but not send them to prison, send them to basically internment camps where they'll get food and, the basics for living, but they're not going to be allowed to leave. And they're going to take over whatever money they have coming, like assuming they're on disability or whatever, the government will just take their money and manage it for them. Mama Prey says kind of like a nursing home. Mama Prey does not like nursing homes. One day you're going to hear that story. But, so they're basically going to put them into internment camps. And I was watching this video from Tim Pool, who, unlike what some people claim, is not a conservative or right-wing by any means whatsoever. The man is a Bernie Sanders supporter. He is left-wing, but he's grounded left-wing. He's not crazy, wacko left-wing. So, to some people who are crazy left, he sounds like, he's got to be alt-right because he doesn't believe what I believe, right? He can understand that some people believe that there are only two genders and that it's not a scientific fact that there are 46 different genders. He understands that some educated people can hold the opinion that there are two genders and it's not a hate crime to think that. So even though he personally believes in multiple genders, he understands that not everybody who doesn't is a Nazi. And so for that reason, a lot of people on the far left look at him and call him alt-right, but he is not. He is quite firmly on the left of center on just about everything, but he's a very grounded left of center person, so I always enjoy watching his videos. I like hearing the other side's take on many issues. So he did a video on California and these proposals, And as I was watching this video, I was like, oh my God, this is exactly like Deep Space Nine did in past tense, where where Cisco, Bashir, and Dax get stuck in the 21st century San Francisco, and Cisco and Bashir end up in a sanctuary district where basically the poor and the homeless are put, and it's just a big walled-in district, ghetto almost. Of course, there's housing, but all the housing is run by gangs. So you're like, well, where do you sleep? And they're like, oh, you sleep anywhere. It's for everybody to use. But of course, once you try to get into a building, there's a group of people there pushing you out, keeping you out. And there's lots of crime. And it's a very shitty place to live. And it's very similar to what would happen if there were actually sanctuary districts. And of course, the staff is completely overworked. And he's like, well, how do we find a job if we're stuck in here? And the lady's like, well, job placement is one of our services we offer. He's like, well, how long does that take? And she's like, yeah, I can't tell you. It's going to take a while. Good jobs are hard to come by. Be patient. And it's exactly the same question Tim asked in his video. And there were just so many similarities. And when I went back to past tense, it was indeed the year 2024 that they went back to, which is 5 short years from now. And this wasn't the beginning of the sanctuaries. They'd already been up a while. So, for those who don't know, unfortunately, Cisco going back in time caused the Bell, the guy named Bell, who led an uprising, not a violent one, a non-violent uprising, but got the word out about what was really going on in the sanctuaries and in the districts, and got the entire country to change its ways. He got killed. So Cisco had to step in and do everything Bell did. And so Cisco gave his name as, I think, Arthur Bell or whatever the guy's name was. So history still unfolded like it was supposed to. But later in the show Little Green Men, when Nog was reading a book on Earth history, he says, doesn't this whatever Bell guy look exactly like Captain Cisco? And he shows a picture, or Commander Cisco, whatever he was. And he tries to show the picture to Quark, and Quark just dismisses it. He's like, all humans look the same. He happened to be an African-American man, Mr. Bell. So, I mean, it wasn't completely, it wasn't a total change of character. You'd have to really know who he was to realize that, hey, his face has changed in the history books. But, yeah, it was a really good episode. A really good time travel episode. And really crazy that California is actually considering this type of stuff. I mean, you would expect that a left-leaning city especially wouldn't consider basically imprisoning the poor. But in the episode, the rich tech elites, which are in the episode, basically just think of these poor people as, they have problems and we can't help them. It's really the best thing for them to be in these sanctuary districts. And that is a lot like the liberal elite of San Francisco, who's trying to get this stuff kind of passed. So, I'm not getting into the politics. I'm just saying, yes, you can look it up. These are policies people in California were trying to get passed, not on the right, because they don't have any political power in California. But obviously not everybody is for it. There's plenty of liberals against it too. So I'm not saying it's a whole liberal thing. Don't get me wrong, but there are liberals in California trying to get this passed. There are also liberals in California, I'm sure, who are against this. Excuse me. But anyway, that's good enough. Actresses in Google is watching you watching your... Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped one. Josh reads his Bird of Prey. Since every Monday you have problems streaming, you need to change your name to Garfield O'Prey. Yeah, it's the Mondays. I hate Mondays. But I think I don't love lasagna, so Garfield O'Prey won't work. An actor says, and Google is watching your car, watching you, watching Bird being watched by Google, Yosef. That's true. Mr. Miles says first, welcome, Mr. Miles. Qapla. Aberjam says Google equals Cyberdyne. Dan23 says hi, welcome Dan. Aberjam says greetings. Dan Trigger5 says we need to have fun like that. We need to have fun like that more, Rock Solid. And actor says, cat, less Google involved. Joseph says the Never Ending Story is my favorite movie of all times. Wow. And Rock Solid agrees with Trek 95 about having more fun live streams. Apparently, Rock Solid Productions is the place to go for fun live streams. Aberjam says greetings to Mama Prey. Josh reads his Bird, you still owe me 2 hours from Saturday's Star Trek 5. You knew what you were getting into, Josh Street. Agda says, so you love the ending of Stranger Things Season 3. Yosef. Seems like everyone is getting sick, says Mr. Miles. Yeah, it's that time of year, I guess. Trek 95 says, Bird of Prey, get rest. I can't. Gotta do this. Mr. Miles says, one cold in the last 5 years or so. You son of a bitch. Yeah, keep bragging, Mr. Miles. I'm gonna send you a dirty tissue. Fuck. God damn. Why did I say that? I meant a tissue that I blew my nose in. Actor says plenty of sick YouTubers. There's already some conspiracy theories being born. Yeah. Aberjam says that moment in the last episode of Stranger Things is one of the best things in Netflix. Have I already forgotten what that moment is? Joseph says actor did not watch season 3 yet. Fox Solid says sounds like Bird of Prey needs to use some blue chew to make it last longer without coming up short. Wow. DN23 lols. Ozzy NF says Bird Prey won't be long until you hit the 10K mark. You know, I think when we hit the 10K mark, I'm going to stop trying. No, but that would be cool. That would be cool. Unfortunately, right now we've been hovering around 1,520 plus or minus 5 for a couple of weeks. Hopefully this video helps. So what happens is when I put out like a Star Trek video, I usually, like an uploaded, produced Star Trek video, we usually get, a handful of new subscribers. And then I could go a few weeks without putting out a new video, and we slowly lose subscribers. So if I get aggressive and do at least 1 or 2 videos a week, we should be on a solid path to growing the channel. So that's my plan. But, we'll see what happens. Live streams, as fun as they are, they don't grow the channel. For whatever reason. Sci-Fi Nation Bird of Prey needs his own editor now. Growing up fast. Soon he'll be Big Bird. Wow. Joseph says the video freaked me out because World War III is coming and First Contact afterwards. Well, that's true. But if it gets us to First Contact, just live in what was it, Montana, you'll be okay. You'll be okay. Okay, I'm going to take my pill now, guys, so I'm just going to shut the camera off, but I'll keep the microphone on to prove to you I'm not jalogering. Actually, I need to take 2 pills. I'm pro here. Oh God, I tell you, K-Flex has a terrible taste. Even just the smell of the capsules. Even though they're just capsules, I hate it. I can't say I ever remember other antibiotics having like a terrible flavor to them. And that chewing is eating pretzels. Ah, maybe. I'll put the camera back on. You can watch me eat another pretzel. Aberjam UK says internment camp equals prison without bars. Indeed. Agris is no conservative nor right-wing. I started avoiding his channel because he seemed almost alt-right. He only seems that way because how crazy the far left got, in my opinion. He is he's a firm Bernie Sanders supporter. He wanted to vote for Bernie, and he still would, except he thinks Bernie went a little loony. Now he wants to vote for Tulsi Gabbard. They are not conservative or Republicans by any means. At least a couple of his latest videos. His videos have always been that way. And he has made it very clear he would never, ever, ever vote for Donald Trump. He is not a Trump supporter. He just isn't crazy. Rock Solid says Tim Pool is a liberal actor, not a conservative at all. Well, Tim Pool, possibly, but also Tim Pool without an E at the end is the person we're talking about. Rock says he volunteered for Bernie. I believe he has said yes, he did. He was an early volunteer for Bernie Sanders. Sci-Fi Nation Bird of Prey, would you like Kyle Kulinski on secular? You would like Kyle Kulinski on secular talk also, I think. I never heard of secular talk. Sci-Fi Nation. Honestly, I don't usually talk or care about religion too much, though when Anti-Tracker talks about it, it's halfway interesting. This way I can give him moral issues to deal with and see how he talks his way out of it. Like, if God wanted him to have a certain herbal substance, then shouldn't he be procuring that regardless of, state law? John DeMarco says, hi everyone, welcome John DeMarco. Aberjam says, Tim Pool calls himself a left-leaning libertarian. Agdra says, so California has enough wealth to give free housing, no? I don't know. I don't think so. Housing's pretty expensive, especially in California. Labor Matthews says, hey DeMarco, how's it going? I try not to read the hellos to everybody. Dan23 says, did America do something like that in World War II? There were Japanese internment camps set up on the West Coast. And all the Japanese people in Hawaii and many of the Japanese people in California, Oregon, and Washington were sent to these internment camps. In fact, George Takei was there as a kid. He was sent to them. Now, they were nothing like concentration camps. Okay? I mean, people are like, oh, they were America's concentration camp. They were not. Listen, you did not want to be there, but they were far better than a concentration camp. They were far better than a prison. You were there with your family. You were fairly secure. Don't get me wrong, it was shitty, and it was terrible, and yes, they should all have received, and they did, I believe, receive money back, because if they owned a business, the government took their business. They closed them down. They lost their leases, or if they owned commercial property, they lost it, and they were moved. They lost their homes. So it was a terrible, terrible thing that Franklin Delano Roosevelt, noted Democrat, and four-term president decided to do. But it was nothing like a concentration camp. They were not treated terribly. And yes, I mean, just taking somebody away from their home is in itself a crime, I would say. But there are degrees, and it was in the degrees of history. You would take Japanese internment camp over, concentration camp, or 1800s Indian reservations any day. And you would take it over 20th century prison, 21st century prison, I'm sure. Mr. Mouse says, Ector, yes, they do. Rock Solid says, hard jobs are good to find. What a typical Kurogan streetwalker says. Oh, boy. Mr. Mouse says, Ector, they were doing free housing for a while for the homeless. I don't know what happened to the program. Sci-Fi Dan 23, yes, internment camps it was Japanese Americans. Gabriel Bell. Thank you, Joe Lau. Gabriel Bell, not Arthur Bell. Gabriel Bell was the guy who got killed at Commander Sisko or Captain Sisko. I forget it was third season, so I think it was still Commander Sisko had to take over for. Aberjam says, Life with Matthew, if it was a I know the word, I just can't say it. Compulsory shelter with a curfew, I'd be on board with that, but not letting them out, that's inhumane. Gabriel Bell says, Track 95, thank you. Miss Mouse says, Taco Gabriel Bell. Pretty close. Sci-Fi Nation, I believe George Takei. Yes, George Takei was in one as a kid. And John DeMarco says, good, thanks. Life with Matthew. Joe Lau, yeah, you're Taco Bell, lol. Track 95, lols. Dan 23 says, yeah, I'm not American. I don't know the correct history, but we've heard some things. Yeah. Not our shiniest day. Dan 23 says, you can ring my bell, Ding Dong song by Anita Ward. I've never heard of that song. Joe Lau says, it's the episode. Track 95 says, no, not basically. It is imprisonment. Yes. John DeMarco says, I think it's amazing that not only did DS9 predict this, but they were very close to the year. Yeah, that is what made me totally ignore the video I had been working on for 3 days and do this other video really quick. That's why it's a short video. Let's see. There's quite a bit of chat. I might have to skip some chat so we can get to the Dear Bops, guys. Japanese internment camps is one of the ugliest blotches on U.S. history. Mr. Miles, it's an ugly blotch on U.S. history. I don't think it tops I don't think it cracks the top 10 because there have been much uglier things. Now listen, everybody knows you'd be harder to find a bigger patriot than me. I love this country. I don't judge people for doing things that were, legal in the time they lived. And I think it's crazy that we try to judge historical figures by contemporary standards. In fact, I think it's dangerous that we do that. But internment of the Japanese, it's not in our top 5. I don't think it'd be in our top 10 worst things we've ever done, because we've done some awful, awful things as a country, and I don't think we should forget it. We should remember, in fact, we should all, as a population, remember that our government has done these things, sometimes to us and sometimes in our name. Certainly, probably slavery would rank as most people's number one. There was the Tunguski experiments that were just awful, brutal. What we did to each other during the Civil War, the way we treated Civil War prisoners, in the North, how the Southern prisoners, and I mean, I'm sure the Northern prisoners were no better. I mean, just disgusting, absolutely disgusting how we were treating our rebels, or the Northerners were being treated by who would later be our fellow Americans. Far worse than what happened to the Japanese. I mean, there's other things. I don't want to go off and just say, well, why the U.S. And how we treated Native Americans. Listen, I'm not saying every battle with the Native Americans was a tragedy, because, we weren't always on the wrong. That we got attacked too. But making deals with them and then not living up to our own deals, promising them things, and then, for lack of a better term, being an Indian giver. No, it should be called being an American government giver, because they're the ones who gave something and then took it back. So, I mean, that was terrible. And listen, Japanese internment, it was bad, but it's not in the worst. It's not the top 5. I'm not sure if it's the top 10, but there's some terrible things. Rock Solid says, Dan23, one of my family's neighbors was in a camp in World War II. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Although I guess I'm happy to hear that they're still alive if they're your family's neighbor. Aberjam says, Mr. Miles, that's, an internment camp. Well, okay. Well, that's cool. Maybe they have something interesting. Aberjam says, Mr. Miles, that and Brie Larson. Okay. Joseph says, one dislike. I'm sure there's going to be more than one dislike at this point. Ms. Miles says, Aberjam, we don't speak of her. Joe Lau, I wonder if we can find Cisco in 2024. Lol. Roxanne says, Mr. Miles, the other ugly blotch is Anti-Trekker and Disco and Disney Star Wars and JJ Track. This country has a lot of blotches now that I think about it. And the Germans had Hitler. The U.S. has oh my God. Track 95 Bird of Prey. No, you don't have to do this. That's true. John Street says, Mr. Miles, don't forget Kuroga has Bird of Prey 5. Joseph says, Goth O Prey 5. Dirty Tissues. Would probably work in Japan. They have vending machines for used panties. That would not be too far out. Do they? I mean, is that serious? I know I've heard it, but I have a hard time believing. Dan23 is Mr. Miles, Chief Engineer. Thanks. Gift O Prey, says Joseph. Gift O Prey. Joe Lau was a sensitive. What sensitive? I just said. Aberjam says, I'd buy that for $1. Joe Lau, Bree, and Hit. Oh, yeah. Over the top a bit weird. Rock Solid says, but live streams do generate super chat revenue. That is true, Rock Solid. They do. They just don't bring in any new people. Joe Lau says, sorry about this. Don't worry, Joe. Nothing you did. Aberjam says, Joe, no, he's not a spammer. Chief Cook is in the house. Lolling. Cinnabon says, shut off the camera. It is supposedly, isn't it? You SOB, says Chief Cook. I'm sorry. Roxanne's Bird of Prey, we don't need to hear you grunting as you take your suppository. That's how Frank took you. Oh my God. Yosef says Bird of Prey, if you sniff it after it was split by a credit card, it's not antibiotics. Live with Matthew the Cinnabon, damn it, you beat me to a punch by 4 seconds. John Street says, why is the Gelogia machine running in the background? Oh no, it wasn't. If you'd hear it, it sounds like this. If you don't hear that, it's not running. No, Sassy, it's okay. That wasn't outside. Yes, I was eating too. No, Frank wasn't Freddy's suppository. Rock says, okay, quote Monty Python, get on with it, Dear Bop. Yes, okay. I'm going to read the at Beta Prey 5s, then we're going to do Dear Bop. Do you wash your hands after that gelogia break? Well, I didn't have a gelogia break, but if I do, and if they get particularly dirty or even just a little, I do always Purell them. I don't always wash. I wash them as needed, but we have the Purell just in case. Sci-Fi News is a secular talk, isn't about religion, it's political commentary. Well, that sounds even more boring. I like to talk about religion, politics. I don't necessarily like other people to talk about politics. Okay. Dear Bop. Who is in the sticker behind the Sinatra one? There is just a Starfleet sticker. There's no other sticker behind the Sinatra sticker. I know what they said. I know what they were meaning to say. Sounds like a Who versus Dan. An anti-trekker. Oh, wait. Rock Solid says, yes, they use panty vending machines. They are a real thing, Bird of Prey. Wow. So anti-trekker's here and said, did anyone else notice the strange grin on Bird's face when he flipped on the gelogia machine? Creepy. Maybe Bird should move in with Lando. You know what, anti-trekker? I'm glad you're here, because we're going to start some Dear Bops. So let's get to them. Maybe you can learn something from Dear Bop. Is this going to work? There we go. Welcome to the Dear Bop segment. That is the wrong screen. There we go. Okay. While anti-trekker's here, you know what? I think we're going to randomly start. Let's go from the top down today. Dear Bop, I'm suffering from STD diagnosed on September 24th, 2017. How do you deal with yours and when will it pass? Patient. Yes, on September 24th, 2017, we all became infected with an STD. There are several ways of controlling it, but there's no cure yet. You can control it by watching lots of other canon track, like Star Trek, the original series, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, and Enterprise. You can watch the Star Trek movies, but not the JJ movies. Just Star Treks 1 to 6 are the best. Generations, First Contact, they're not as bad. And you know, even Insurrection and Nemesis are okay. They all help. Watching YouTubers like me and Anti-Trekker and Doomcock and Nerdrotic, Mecha, they help as well. But for right now, unfortunately, there is no cure. If you want to donate to help find a cure, you can send me a super chat, and I will put it to the STD Search for a Cure Fund as we attempt to fund it. But I think that this STD probably lasts only 3 to 4 years and then clears up on its own. So I think we might already be mostly through it, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. So, okay. So now we got this Dear Bop. Oh, it's a long one. Dear Bop, thank you so much. With your recent help, I went from a 50-something-year-old YouTuber to a 50-something-year-old YouTuber with over 12,000 subscribers. Wow, and more come in every few minutes. That's amazing. Even better is I did almost none of the work. I have this guy that I pay pennies of my ad revenue, and he does all the hard work while I sit back and rake in all the super chats. Wow, that sounds amazing. Sometimes hundreds of dollars in a night. Wow. The wife and I even dine on caviar and drink champagne as we laugh about our newfound wealth. She has even stopped sneaking off to the UK as much because I can give her the good life right here. Well, I'm so happy to hear that, 50-something-year-old YouTuber. So my question is, what Christmas gift should I get my editor? It needs to look and sound nice so my fans think I am a nice and generous guy. But it shouldn't be too nice that my editor gets an ego boost and upsets the delicate balance we currently have, where he does all the work and I reap all the reward. It would be great if the gift didn't cost me anything at all. We have 2 dogs and a cat we need caviar for as well. Please advise, sincerely, Anonymous Tracker. Well, Anonymous Tracker, first, let me congratulate you on your YouTube success. I knew that by listening to my earlier advice, you would get there, my friend. So, congrats. As for your editor, hey, it's a, he's an adult, presumably. So if he's okay with this relationship where he does all the work and you get all the reward, I'm not one to throw a wrench into that. That's between you two. So specifically, you're asking about a Christmas gift, to give him, that sounds really impressive to your subscribers or your fans, but actually doesn't cost anything and won't make him get an ego boost. I think I have a perfect thing. So, when you go to a store and they sell gift cards for other stores, you can go into like a drugstore and they maybe have like $100 Amazon gift card or $75 Best Buy gift card or whatever. But they're easy. They're out. They're not behind glass because the cards have no value until the cashier activates them before you leave the store. So, just get one and don't activate it. Just, put it in your wallet or put it, sneak it under your shirt or something. You're not really stealing anything. It's not a crime because the card has 0 physical value. So they can't arrest you. You didn't actually commit a crime. You didn't steal anything of value. And it says right on the card that this card is of no value. So if they did arrest you, say for what? Stealing something that's not worth anything? How is that a crime? So you take it and you give it to them and you're like, yeah. So, and you can tell your fans, like, I just got, my editor $100 gift card to Amazon or even $200. I mean, I would say $500, but you don't want to up his ego too much. Maybe even a $200 gift card. 100's good. $100 gift card to say Amazon or even better, like Best Buy, because then there's a pretty good chance he'll go into Best Buy in person and try to use it. And you get all the credit, like, yay, that guy, he's a pretty cool guy. You get a $100 gift card to Best Buy. But then when he goes to use it, they're going to swipe it and they're like, I'm sorry, sir, this is registered as a card with 0 balance on it. In fact, it might even be a stolen card. And then, your editor will say, no, it's got to be a mistake, and they'll run it through again. They're like, I'm sorry, sir, we can't honor this card. And, he, more than likely, he sounds like he's probably a shy person. He won't even bring it up. He won't ever bring it up again. He won't know if it was a mistake or not. So he'll just assume, and you can even ask him, hey, did you buy something nice with your card in a month? And he'll probably say, yeah, I did. Just because he doesn't want to rock the boat. He doesn't want you to feel bad. He'll probably think he did something wrong. So it works out perfectly. You don't spend any money. You get all the glamour of giving away a big ticket Christmas gift to somebody, and it doesn't cost you a penny. And the only one who gets hurt is your editor, who apparently probably takes some type of pleasure from being hurt, considering he likes doing all this work for scraps anyway. So I think that's your perfect an unactivated gift card. Perfect gift. Perfect gift. And Vile Mike's in the house. Vile Mike, make sure you see the title of the stream, Vile Mike. You need to start listening to your wife. I don't know why. I just know that that's what I was told the title had to be. So, I just want to make sure you saw that, Vile. And John DeMarcus was excellent fiendish plan, Bert. Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm pretty good. You know, there are a lot of things, but I'm really good at picking out gifts for people. So if you need help with that, gifts ideas, that's something Dear Bops can certainly help on. Okay, well, those two came in afterwards, so we're going to come from the, we'll work our way down. We'll work our way down, and that'll be it for the Dear Bops today, once we get to the bottom. Dear Bop, I was hoping you could help me with my studies. I am only in the 12th grade, but my commensurate protestations against the my commensurate protestations against insurmountable veracity of our personal assignments was met with a somewhat contemptible indignation from my grade tutor. I was wondering if you had any intermediate remedies for the situation that I could use to abate thus fictitious teat between my lead scholar and I. Cheers, mate. Okay, well, mate, let's do this. Let's do this. Cheers, mate. First, this sentence doesn't make any sense. I can tell you, even if I can't pronounce these words, commensurate and protestations, they just simply don't go together. Insurmountable veracity, I think, is also pretty much nonsense. Personal assignments, okay, that's legit. Contemptible indignation, I mean, great, yeah, that's probably okay too. I was wondering if you had any intermediate remedies for the situation. Yes, I do. And abate this. And I have no idea what a teat is, but I think it's probably illegal in like 12 to 15 states. So here's what you should do. You should watch every episode of The Simpsons, seasons 1 to 28. Okay? And if the word is never used in The Simpsons at any point between season 1 and season 28, don't use it in your assignments, and you'll be perfectly cromulent in your writing, and it will embiggen a spirit of the noblest kind. So that's what you got to do. Just Simpson safe words from here on out. Okay? Now a little birdie told me to go back to the top. We'll try. I don't want to go out of order, but we will try. So let's see, 1847. We'll get back to it. Dear Bob, I am an editor for a 58-year-old YouTuber who recently found a lot of new success. My problem is that a lot of people put out fake news that he is unfair to me about how much he pays me. Last month, he gave me 100% of the ad revenue, plus a couple of super chats that people said were for me. No joke, he is a pretty great guy. How do I make sure everyone knows that he is really a great guy without sounding like a self-serving jerk? Since I do sound like a jerk a lot. No, really, a lot. Wrenchless in Cali. You see, here's the problem with this being anonymous. This is signed as Wrenchless in Cali, but my spidey brain, I sense that this was actually written by anonymous tracker. So I think he realized that even though it's anonymous, it is, it is talked about on the stream. So, I just don't believe you. I don't believe you, anonymous tracker. If that's true, then you should release your tax records. Okay, release your tax returns, and we'll get to the answer. If you're not going to release your tax returns, I'm not going to believe it. Dear Bob, I've got used to people saying my name for forgetting to turn on the mic, but it took about 30 years to get used to it. But I still can't get over Frank and Freddie being married. Signed, Future Bird of Prey, misspelled. P.S. I'm glad I outlived most of those sons of bitches that first started this Frank and Freddie by 95 years. Okay, well that is total nonsense. Frank and Freddie were never married. That's just fake news. Dear Bob, F you, anonymous tracker. Well, anonymous tracker, I'm just trying to help. I don't understand why. You listen to there can be no doubt that once you started listening to my advice in my Dear Bop column, your channel started taking off. So clearly I'm the one, I'm the one most responsible for your success. And I'm not going to go ask you for my rightful share of any of that, because Dear Bop is free. So, but hey, F you too, buddy. I guess. If you don't want my advice, stop asking for it. And your wife is probably still, you notice she said that she only started going to the UK less. She didn't say she stopped going to the UK. Okay, so back to this. Okay, I think this is a real one. Dear Bob, life is just overwhelming, hence leading to depression, feeling underwhelmed, underappreciated, stressed out, and like a failure. The last 15 months has seen some of the worst things happen in my life, and I don't believe I'll ever recover from. I'm to the point I'll never be able to retire, even making really good money, due to poor choices of others that I have obligated me to. I am pretty much financially ruined. Since 2013, I've had over $300,000 sapped from my retirement, which is now totally gone. I am screwed if there is a major emergency. If I could, I would never leave my home, sleep all day, and avoid everyone, including family. To be blunt, I feel effed. Between my ex, who is a succubus and tries to suck me financially dry, and has ruined my relationship with my almost adult child, to a current partner who can't physically contribute to anything due to failed business, I just can't do it any longer. I'm overwhelmed. I feel like that if there is a God, I have been his whipping boy and completely cast aside by him or her. Not that I am going to do anything to hurt myself, so no worries there. I recently have even gone so far as to sign a do not resuscitate order. In the event that something medically happens, I'm ready to be done. I'm overcooked, super crispy, drowning in the weeds, and surrender. So like I say, if I could switch places with you, I would. You deserve the mobility and freedom that quite honestly I wish I could give you. depressed, not just about STD, Rise of Skywalker, and everything the left is doing to ruin our lives. Well, okay, so I assume you've written in with the extra details I've asked about, and once again, I thank you for wanting to help me as part of your that you're in such a bad place. You would help me if you could. I do thank you, but obviously I don't want that. Wouldn't want my recovery to come from somebody else's misfortune, unless I got to pick who was the misfortune, which I wouldn't get to pick. But no, so that's not practical or something I'd ever want. Listen. Yeah, money is gonna be tough. And if you're at that point in your life where you drain $300,000 from your retirement account and you're never gonna ever be able to put it back, a lot of people work until they die. I don't know what to tell you. It's, I don't know what the age of your parents were, or their parents, or aunts and uncles, but like I know in my family, and I can say this because Mama prays outside, the vast majority of my family does not live particularly long. My dad was dead at 61. His father was dead at 64 or 65. If I make it that far, I would be amazed. Other people, they have people that, and listen, I'm not looking to go. I'm just saying that I look to my dad and my grandfather, and they were all in better shape than I was at this. Well, at least my grandfather was. But hey, they were all walking their whole lives, for the most part. So, I don't know what you expect you'll live to, but I mean, if you have a family where people die in their 60s, it might not be the biggest concern to worry about, really, worrying about retirement. And if you have the physical strength to actually get up and work every day, that's not the worst thing in the world. I mean, a lot of people do keep working past retirement. Some because they want to, and others because they have to. We do have a pretty good bankruptcy system if you are in the United States. I mean, I don't know all your debt issues, but if you're really in a situation you don't think you can ever get out of, it might be something to consider. You'd have to talk to an attorney for the details. You can find places that'll give you a free consultation. It might be something to consider. And like I said last time, one of the best things you can do to break your cycle of feeling bad for yourself is really just try to volunteer. Try to find something you can do to help somebody. If it's a volunteer through an organization, I don't know if you're living someplace where it's going to be snowing, but if you just want to go out and frickin' shovel an old woman's driveway or her house for her and don't ask for anything, that can be a tremendously, it's cold, but it can make you feel tremendously warm inside. Something like that. Something to just get you kick-started. Like, hey, I did something today that meant everything to somebody. Like, we had one year where the snow was just so bad, and we were going to, like, Mama probably was almost crying because we couldn't even get in touch with the guy who normally would shovel the snow, and a neighbor did the whole sidewalk for us. And without asking, without asking, just knowing the situation here. He didn't knock on the door. He didn't say, do you want me to? He just did it. And I'll be honest, that made, we were so touched. So touched. And for him, I mean, I think he had a snowblower. He did. He didn't?
No, yes.
Yeah, he had a snowblower. It only took him 10 minutes. But he saved us hours and lots of money. Because, and you know what? Even if he didn't have a snowblower, still, just him doing it, it was an amazing thing. And it might have been little for him, but it made our day. In fact, it made our week. It was really something. It gave us faith in humanity again. So do something to help somebody, whether it's official or unofficial. And that's what you're going to do. That's what you're going to have to do. Little things like that will slowly, over time, bring you back around from the depression to the optimism.
Every hospital has volunteers.
Mama praising. Every hospital has volunteers. Nursing homes too. You just go in, you sit with patients. I mean, there are people in nursing homes and hospitals. They have no family. Nobody comes to visit them. You can just go in. You can talk to them. Sometimes the volunteers come and they pass out newspapers and magazines. But, I mean, I haven't had to use them because, knock wood, my family was always there for me. Somebody was always there. But there are so many people. And one of the saddest things I saw in the nursing home, which was the rehab center, and in the hospital, are these people where they're there. And I mean, I was there, for months at a time, and nobody comes to visit them at all. And they're like, oh, my kid lives, in another city or whatever, or blah, blah, blah. And nobody comes the entire time. Now, me and Mama Pray are there, so we get to talking. But if I wasn't in that room, who the hell were they going to talk to? They would just be sitting there, literally in bed, watching, if they could afford it, the television, because the television's not free, for God knows what reason, why we can't even get free television in hospitals. The television's not free. You got to pay like $12 a day for fucking television. It's ridiculous.
That woman in the nursing home that you never met. She was in get down person. But when I would go out and get you breakfast.
Oh yeah, Mama Pray. In the nursing home, there was Mama Pray would go out to get me breakfast because the nursing home had shitty food. And she'd ask Mama Pray to bring her back something. Yeah. She had money. She had a little money. She just can't. She was physically unable to get up, and she had nobody there that came to visit her. So Mama Pray was actually bringing food back for more than just me. Yeah. So do something like that. That will get you. I know it sounds weird. It sounds like, more work, but it's not going to feel like work. Once you do it that first time, you're going to realize that's not really work at all. And I do hope you feel better. Dear Bob, P.S. Epstein didn't kill himself. Okay. I guess that was a P.S. from this one, since this was a few minutes earlier. Dear Bob, I don't mean to embarrass you, but I am writing to you with an issue of a sensitive nature. Over recent years, it seems I struggle more and more to finish, in quotes, When I was younger, I used to be able to go for ages and ages without coming to a climax. And I was okay with that because at least I had some longevity and was able to maintain interest. But nowadays, it seems despite my best efforts, all that I can manage is a lot of spectacle, but very little substance. My issues weren't helped much when another guy stepped in to take my place for a while, but it turned out he makes even more of a mess of things than I do. Thanks to his failure, I now have another bite at the cherry, as it were. I think it may be too late, though. Now I just blow my load all over the place without even a lead-up. I don't even know which way to turn anymore. I just make a mess of everything. If there's anything you can do to help, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'd even give you tickets to the premiere. Thanks in advance, JJ. You got me. You got me, JJ. You got me. So it's J.J. Abrams. Ryan Johnson is the guy who stepped in for a little bit. J.J. Abrams used to make films that were decent, but never climaxed. Then it all became just a shit show. Yep, that is the career of J.J. Abrams. So J.J. Abrams is asking for advice. J.J., take your billions and retire, man. You're done. You're cooked. Okay? You're overcooked. It's time to get out of the oven and make way for somebody new. Take Ryan Johnson with you. Take your wife, a couple of other, random women who want to go with you. Move up to frickin' a ranch in Jackson Hole or something, and live out the rest of your days there, eating vegan turkeys on your kale ranch. But yeah, that's it. You're done. There's no fixing you, JJ. There's nothing. You can't be helped. But very good. Very good. I am impressed with that one. Wesley crushes his bird of prey. Greetings, birds, turds, and dear mop. Greetings, Wesley. Okay. Dear Bop, I have this friend. He keeps admitting to liking to play with balls. Also, he mentions wood just a little too often. How should we tell him that this isn't good to keep saying on the air? Also, how can we get more cis O'Prey? The most perfect woman in the world. Just asking. Signed, maybe Anti-Tracker or Thomas Potts Pitts, or not. Well, I doubt it's Anti-Tracker or Thomas Pitts. Well, I don't think you can get more cis O'Prey. It will be rare if she ever comes on. Now, rare doesn't mean never, but it does mean not usually. Sorry. Had to cough. So I would just not worry about getting Sister O'Prey. As for your friend who admits he likes playing with balls, I suspect that if he said that, he meant, he didn't mean men's balls. He meant, sports balls or toys or even there's this thing called the Newton's Cradle where these metal balls click and clack, and it's actually a tool to learn about physics. So it's very hard to explain that without talking about touching a bunch of balls because it's necessary to use the device. So I would say more than likely that's what he meant. And talking about wood too often, well, I mean, wood is one of the most important resources on this planet. We wouldn't have a Roman Empire without wood. We wouldn't have, Columbus couldn't have sailed the seas without wood. We wouldn't have the Mayflower. We wouldn't have, we would never have come to this country if not for wood. Okay, millions of people would freeze to death in the north without wood. So wood is very underrated. In fact, I'd say people should be saying the term wood probably 10 times as much as we do. Like, wood is the forgotten fuel. So I honestly don't think your friend has any problem. I say the problem is not in your friend, but in yourself. So there you go. Oh, yeah. Mama Prey says, and whoever wrote that called Sisso Prey the most perfect woman in the galaxy or something.
Okay, so I agree.
Okay, so Mama Prey agrees with that. Dear Bob here. Greg bought me a plug, but it's really too big and does not fit. But I don't want to disappoint him. What would Bird do? Well, Bob, I've had to plug up drains and stuff, and the plug gets small, or I have the wrong size plug. You can increase the size of the plug with duct tape. That's why you always want to keep duct tape around. Just run a bunch of duct tape over the side of the plug. It'll give you valuable, when you need to make a half an inch, whatever it is, however you can do it with duct tape. Huh? Oh, the plug is too big and does not fit. I thought the hole was too big. Huh. Well. Oh, sassy. Good call, Mama Prey. Good call. Well, then just buy a hammer. Buy maybe a mallet. Rubber mallet. You don't want to disfigure the plug. But a rubber mallet, work it in there real good. It'll, something's got to give. Either the metal will or the hole will. Either way, it will eventually fit. So just a good rubber mallet. Every house needs a good sized rubber mallet tool. We have one here. It comes in handy. Lots of things. So. Rubber mallet. Dear Bob, I recently received a report from an insider that the president of Turkestan threatened to withhold funds from Mr. Miles on an official telephone call until he promised to provide information about his dealings with other content creators on YouTube. Should I keep this information secret, or should I bring this information to the Turdgressional Intelligence? Yes, I read this one already. Turdgressional Intelligence Committee. I am not even sure if this was a crime, but the monster must be removed from office for attempting to corrupt Mr. Miles. Yes, I did read this one last week. Basically, I said keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth shut. If you're not sure it's a crime, just keep your mouth shut. So let's put that into the archive. So we got 3 more. I guess we'll finish these up. Dear Bob, once again, thank you again to you and Mama Prey. Today I was drug screening December 2nd for a contractor job in Tennessee. While I wouldn't have to move there right away, the recruiter that I've been talking to says that even if I fail for marijuana, they might still be able to push forward with me for this position and let me work from home for the start of the job. Your channel, many others, are the highlights of my days to help me continue forward and push onward. Please continue to be you. Thanks to you and your help, not only myself, but many others that seek your advice. That all being said, my question for today is, what kind of IT certifications could someone start studying for in an effort to be more successful, even if it's just an entry-level job. For a fun fact, I am currently located in Boulder, Colorado, and that was a question from my last response. P.S. Even if I were to fail the test, it would allow me to focus on just driving for the various rideshare companies instead of screening all the interview calls that go nowhere. Thanks, the novel writer. Well, very cool that you got yourself an interview. I do hope you pass the test, and even if you don't, if they can move forward, that would be tremendous. So you want to know what IT certifications you should get. Let's see. What are they these days? Okay, so I'm at a website. It says it's prepaway.com. Top 7 certifications to start your IT career. Now, I haven't been in IT now for 10 years, technically. But, yeah, so you want a Cisco Certified Network Associate, a CCNA. That tells you that you know how to work. You know how to do the basic stuff on Cisco networking equipment, which the vast majority of corporate America runs on. Network Plus is a well-recognized certification globally. Its verification verifies the individual's ability to manage, design, troubleshoot various wireless and wired networks, and passing a 90-minute examination on the configuration of wireless and wired networks, up-and-coming technologies. Okay, so a Network Plus certification looks good. There's an Apple Certified Associate. I would skip that one. Nobody's going to give a shit. A CompTIA A Plus Technician. This is an entry-level certification based on different areas of technological process. It's also a basic start for looking for someone into exploring career in IT. They take care of maintenance of computer systems, PCs, operating systems, printers, laptops, mobile devices. So this, you know what? This whole page, the majority. I got it. Hello. Nobody sassy. So these look good. Certified Information Systems Professional, Security Professional. Man, if you wanted to get into the big money, you would go into security. That's the biggest growing field. System security, cyber security. I know a friend who didn't even graduate. He was close to graduating, but he left college a few credits short of getting his degree, and he is now a big time computer security, network security specialist. Makes some big bucks. You don't even need a degree if you're good enough in it. Okay, number 6 here is the Microsoft Certified Systems Engineer, the MCSE. That was in the day. That was the basic, the most important one. But it's basically a mid-level certification, authenticates an individual's capacity to develop innovative solutions across various technologies, server infrastructure, desktop, private cloud, enterprise device and apps, data platform. So I mean, this is if you've already have some IT knowledge, the number 6 isn't bad. And then number 7 is a Linux Essentials Professional Development certification. I'm going to put the links in the chat. Certifications. And there are tons of certifications out there. Look for ones, Google for ones that you might have more experience in if you want an easier time. But those are great to get started out with. I would highly recommend the Microsoft one, the Network Plus one. I would skip the Apple one unless you specifically want to have to work on apples. I mean, in my experience, there's not a whole lot of Apple computers in the business world. And the ones that there are tend to be standalone ones for either the art department or the higher up execs who get to choose what type of computer they want. The majority don't use them, but they're not that hard, especially lately since the latest Mac OS is basically just Linux with a fancy interface. So if you know Linux, it will help you with Apple. So I hope that helps you there in Boulder. Just remember, though, novel writer, if you do end up moving to Tennessee, that particular substance you enjoy in Boulder is not going to be easily accessible in Tennessee. So, while I wouldn't think it was a problem, for you it might be. So just bear that in mind. But I wish you the best of luck in either case, and I hope you do. Give us an update at some point in the future, should your situations change. We'd love to hear. Love to hear from you. Yes, and Mama Pray also says good luck. And okay, we got in a few more, but I think we're going to call that a day with the Dear Bops. Let's go back to the chat and finish any chats that have at Bird Pray. And I think we'll call it an evening. And sorry if it's not as long as usual, but like I said, I am fighting an infection. Well, there's quite a few Bird Pray 5. Vile Mike says, howdy folks, and what's with the title, Bird Pray 5? Vile, all I can say is that I was approached by somebody who shall remain nameless, that was very interested in knowing if I could make the title of a future live stream. Vile Mike needs to listen to his wife, and so I did it. So I hope you've gotten the message. Editor says, wait, why is he changing the order just because I'm here? I call foul. Well, you see, to be truth be told, Anti-Trekker, I do sometimes read through them before I start, so I can start thinking of answers before the stream starts. And I knew that even though it wasn't you, that you might be able to benefit because Anonymous Tracker was in such a similar situation to you and Mr. Miles that obviously I figured you could benefit from hearing it as well. That's the only reason. I was doing it for you. Dan23 says STLD equals Star Trek Lower Decks. And Mr. Miles' Bird of Prey depends on how you're looking at it. I would have put the Japanese internment camps on top 10 because it's fairly recent, when progress should have put us past that behavior. Well, that is one way of looking at it. Mama Praise disagree.
I'm not saying it was right.
Yes, the Japanese did just bomb Pearl Harbor. That's true. But they weren't rounding up Japanese. They weren't rounding up Germans or Italians. Yeah, okay. The Germans and Italians didn't bomb Pearl Harbor. I got you. They were fighting in Europe. Mr. Miles' Bird of Prey, are there any other layers to it you haven't mentioned? Like the fact that those Japanese American citizens lost their property as well. I did mention that, Mr. Miles. Maybe you wrote that before I mentioned it, but I certainly did mention it. Dan23 says, Bird of Prey, I read a news article at Section 31 has been given to a writer's room. Well then, that would make my video on how is Georgiou going to get back for the Section 31 show all the more interesting. Track 95 anti-tracker, so you're calling Bird of Prey a foul. Lol. Huh, I see what he did there. Mr. Mouse's Bird of Prey, did you see that new dislike? I don't. I don't see likes and dislikes until I'm done with the stream. So, and to be honest, while I prefer to get lots of likes, I really don't care. As long as people are clicking something. Okay, then there were a lot of chats without. Andy says $12 a day for TV. Remind me never to consider moving to New York. Oh, Anti-Trekker. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to take it here. Wesley the Bird of Prey, greetings, birds, turds, and Mamo Prey. Sci-Fi Nation with a $5 super chat for Mamo Prey for all of her dedication. I paused the reading so we can hear Kirk yell Khan a few times. For Mama Prey and all of her dedication and hard work making sure you're taken care of so you can bring us your epic birdness every day. Live long and prosper. Mama Prey says thank you, and thank you, Sci-Fi Nation, indeed. And yes, greetings to Wesley. I think I said that earlier. Jake Nice says a Bird of Prey, a little bird loves to talk about balls and wood constantly. Anyway. Actor says lots of cucumber gangs in the streets of your city. Cucumber gangs. I don't know what a cucumber gang is. And you know what? I don't want to know what a cucumber gang is. Let's see. Aberjam says, as Frank said to Freddy. Wow. Okay, so Mama Prey is outside again. So one more time, guys. Please, if you like Mama Prey, and I know most of you do, Mama Prey's birthday is coming up December 16th. So, what I'm asking you guys to do is to, I just put the link in, is to go to that website address. It's a very basic white page with dark text. And you can get the address, and that's the address where you can mail a birthday card, just a card, get a birthday card from either print one out at your house or at like Hallmark or some card store. It says happy birthday, dear Mama Prey, whatever. If you want to write in something, you can. If you don't want to, you don't have to. If you want to send a postcard, that's fine. You can just write happy birthday, Mama Prey on the postcard. Save you a few cents. Whatever you could do, send it. But to that address, hopefully it will get here by December 16th. It would be so really cool, and we'll show them off. Whatever Mama Prey gets, we'll show off on a stream one day after her birthday. I'm sure she'd be really happy to see and hear from all you different guys and gals out there. That'll kind of, because I never know what to buy her. I never know what to get. What do you get for the person who does everything for you? I don't know. The gift I want to give her is to get up and walk the hell out of here, but I can't. I wish I could, but that's not going to happen. So, guys, we're going to call it a night. Remember to comment, like, and subscribe. The best thing you can do for the channel is share videos. And you could share the live streams. But definitely, if you could, share the produced videos I upload. Like this latest Deep Space Nine California City thing. California internment camp. If you could share that video around. Or retweet that video. Or share it on Facebook. That's what helps the channel grow the most. It's the most helpful. So have a good night. Aberjam says McClunky. And Sci-Fi says, great stream as always, bud. Live long and alpaca, everyone. And thank you, Sci-Fi. Live long and alpaca, everyone. And Mama Pray says, good night. Qapla.